them live. Now, I've uploaded this random live thumbnail that's going to become my new, random live. When you see that thumbnail pop up, and it could pop up out of nowhere, that means I've just decided to randomly go live, and that'll separate it from the backstage with Bad Brad. That's going to be Saturday night's show. And, I had some time today. It's, let's see, what day is today? Today is Thursday. And I thought I would go live the middle of the day on a weekday. Now, I don't know if any of my people are out there. And, dude, Nick is here. All right, we're starting to get some, dude. I cracked open a Red Bull. I got a little bit of time. The wife and Mia, my child, are at the pool. And I thought, man, I'll come on here for a little bit and see what is popping. Everybody get those thumbs up. I put out an interesting video this morning, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, just talking about the battle of old versus young. And I haven't really expected that to do huge numbers. And it's just kind of doing what it's going to do. But I am going to put out a killer. Dude, my wife she's already, hi, Mia, hello. Mia's going to come running in and go, I want to go live. Dan is here faster than a Iron Mike uppercut, power from the legs. Yes, I'm hoping that Iron Mike Tyson has one more knockout in his tank, and he can deliver that for us. And I hope that this is a real event. I hope it's an actual decent fight and nobody actually gets hurt. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, man. I don't want to see an old guy get hurt. And frankly, finally catching you live. All right, Guitar Vacation. See, this is why I'm going to do these random lives. Because, see, there's people out there that don't get to actually be live. And, the cool thing about the live is you guys can send messages, super chats. You guys can ask questions. And I can kind of let you guys, ask some questions that you may be wondering, about the music business or guitars or anything like that, and just have fun. Bud, how you doing? Good day to you. And, I don't know as far as time zones and stuff, maybe this is a better time of the day for people overseas. Dude, I don't really know. David, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Glad to have everybody that joins us on this channel, man. I was watching videos last night about YouTube, and there's people that basically you go and copy someone's videos and do the exact same video and upload it, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers in like 4 days. And that's not what this channel is about. This channel, Eric, how you doing, brother? This channel is about real talk. It's about real feelings, real music. Shredding, what's up, man? Awesome. Well, you've caught this one, Shredding. And like I said, I'm keeping this thumbnail that you see, Bad Brad Random Live. That is going to be the thumbnail for any time I just have a minute and I can pop on and chat with you guys. Eric, how you doing? Upstate New York, man. I'm always glad to have you here, Eric. Man, I've made so many friends through this channel, man, and I'm thankful that everybody tunes in, and man, we can have this fellowship, man, because we're all getting older in age, and we've all got a story to tell. And Miserable, you seem nice to me, Miserable. Well, if you watch my interview with Joseph Wooten, you'll hear that the Wooten brothers are the guys that came up with the name Bad Brad. And Joe gets into it a little bit, talking about how, I was coming from a different perspective in my playing. And I think it was essentially the playing. But I was, let's say I was a mischief maker back in the day. We'll put it kindly like that. Thanks, Dan. Always worth tuning in. Thank you, brother. Back 9 bunch, the breakfast bunch. Yeah, every day. Yeah, man, I'm going to keep this material real. I'm not going to do any trickery. I'm not going to try to take any shortcuts. I want to build this channel the organic way. You'd have to ask somebody else about that. I know that's those days, that was a long time ago, bro. I am a settled down man. I'm Big Bad Bill, Big Bad Brad is Sweet William now. He's doing the dishes and mopping up that floor. Yes, he is. All right, Gila River Indian Community, Big P, man, I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Great to have you here, man. Thank you. Kiri, how you doing, man? Like I'm telling everybody here, just so you know, when you see this Bad Brad random live, these are the random, unscheduled, hey, I got a minute, I'm going to pop online and talk with everybody. And that's what these are going to be. What's up? Ozzy England, you love Van Halen. I love Van Halen. The Dreamer's Life. Hello, how you doing? B-Rad. I had my old bus driver on the road used to call me B-Rad. Now over 9. Yeah, I mean it's moving, shredding. We're making progress. But like I said, man, there's kids that have figured out how to game YouTube, and they'll get 100,000 subscribers in 4 days. And it's easy to get discouraged, but man, not when I have such good people here on this channel. Thank you. 9,000 is great. 10,000 is going to be sweeter. And if we ever make it to 100,000, it's going to be incredible. And you know what? I'm going to do it the old school way. I'm going to just work hard and keep putting out, quality videos and not take any shortcuts and not do any trickery or nonsense. The Dreamer's Life, you would love to have you on my podcast. Well, shoot me an email, send me a link to your podcast. I'll check it out. If I think if it works for what I'm doing, I'll possibly come on there. I can't make any guarantees. If I don't feel it's a good fit, I might not do it. But I do have next week, I am guesting on an episode of Appetite for Distortion. It's a Guns N' Roses centric podcast, and I'm going to be on that next Wednesday, or I'm taping it next Wednesday. I'm not sure when he's going to air that, but I've got one of the stories I recently did on my channel, the Wild Hollywood video. I'm gonna provide his listeners with that story and go into some of my experience with Guns N' Roses and kind of share, perspective on that. So that should be a good time and an interesting listen, but that's coming up. Fun hang. Thank you, Eric. And Interesting Life. Thank you, Eric. I'm just thankful that I'm able to find this outlet for my creativity, man. It's a cool thing. And I've got miserable. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I like Appetite for Destruction. I love that album. I would put that and Van Halen 1. If you want to party like it's 1980 something, put on Van Halen 1, put on Appetite for Destruction, and let the good times roll. It'll get the party started right. So, look, man, the recent stuff came out about Alex Van Halen, but I'm not going to comment on that. AFD and VH1, 2 incredible guitar tones, 2 different approaches. AFD was more raw and kind of sloppy, and VH1 is just precision and tone. Both albums will get the party started right. So yeah, man, I salute. Miserable. I can't comment on all that stuff, man. I don't know anything about that. Appetite was the party music everyone played in the later 80s. That was the one. Thank you, Douglas. Dr. Star is in the house. Always glad to have you here. I'm having an afternoon Red Bull. I don't normally have that during the week, but like I said, I had a little window here and I thought I'd come online and see who's out there. See, is everybody working or is everybody skipping work? Or, a lot of people work from home these days. And, that's the new reality. I'm always in here working on videos. I finished a video today about the best clubs of the Sunset Strip, talking about, the clubs that we played and which ones I ranked. I give a ranking of each club. And so that should be coming out soon in the member section. Oh, you got laid off. Wavelength, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully you're in a okay place financially that you can, survive for a little while. You finished Hermit. Now, Hermit, aren't you in the UK? First time I drank a Red Bull gave me heart palpitations. Miserable, I can understand that. I try to, Dr. Star. I'm trying to, man. And, I love that, Hermit, man. I love that you pop in on this channel, and I love that we're reaching people. P-Funk is here. Michael Strong, Mike P-Funk Strong is here, and he's my old LA buddy. So see, man, this is like a party, man. You want to come to one of my random lives, or you want to pop in, on my channel, man. All my rowdy friends, we're still kicking and we're still dropping in and hanging and hopping and bopping and zippity bopping in. You know what I'm saying? I remember already was saying Guns N' Roses was the new Aerosmith. They are a lot like Aerosmith. I think they took a lot from Aerosmith. I'm sorry, Brad, I can't find your email. The Dreamer's Life, if you go to the title page of my channel, go to my channel page and hit the description. There's all my links, air gigs, Facebook, Instagram, all that, and a link to my email address. So you just have to dig it up right there. Robert, yes, I have had cruise ship gigs. I have done not the kind where you go out for months and play, in a show band. I played cruise ships with an oldies act that was on the bill of playing. Anarchy, how you doing? I've played like, say, 2 shows in a week on a cruise ship, and you're out on the cruise for the rest of the week and just spending money. It didn't pay, dude. It didn't really pay enough to do that, because I would get like 1 show pay for the week, and I would make like $300, or maybe it was 2 shows, so I made $600. But then I'd have a $400 bar tab at the end of the week. So that was never. I got to where I just did. I don't even want to go on a cruise ship now, even just to go cruise. I just don't really like them. It's not my thing. For the flavor. Yeah, we like it for the flavor, man. I just like it for the flavor. For me, this is the last of my poisons that I can have. I don't drink anymore. It wasn't anything where I had to stop drinking. I just chose not to. And I was lucky that it was an easy choice and I could just easily just not do it. So I figure while I'm not doing it, I'll just stay not doing it. Off for 2 weeks. The smokehouse closed till December 1st. Eric, all right. Yeah, he worked. Eric's doing the slow and low, the barbecue, man. I love that stuff. In fact, that reminds me, I've got to line up some food for Thanksgiving. Yeah, miserable. I'm not a fan of the cruise ship thing. I don't like the tiny room, the weird little bathroom with the tiny shower where you're like this. Thank you, Dr. Star. Thank you. The spare energy from not drinking alcohol anymore. Yeah, I'm saving. Think of all the money you spend drinking booze all those years, especially if you're going out to bars, man. It was just a waste of money. You'd go out to the bar knowing well, I can only spend $40. And then you go out and you run into your friends and and then "Hey, can you buy me a drink?" And next thing you know, you're $100 in the hole. And now you've got to figure out a way to scrape up the $100 to pay the rent. I mean, it's just that kind of stuff that happens when you go out drinking, and it's just, it's not necessary for us anymore. So let's get those thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so now because it helps the channel. All right, Mike is having a black coffee. Man, I wish I could drink coffee. I just don't. I just never really got on with the taste of it. Shredding says he spent 10K on booze through my life. Dude, I've probably spent 40K on booze. Yeah, Carrie, it can be very expensive that way. I took a cruise, trust me, 1,000 people waiting in line, rush there, rush here. Yeah, it's not that great. Yeah, Phil, I've heard that one. That is a good one. Yeah, not good wavelength. Big P, you and I are the same age. I haven't played in 2 years. I became my dad's caretaker. Sometimes I really miss the stage. Big P, I hear you there, brother. I'm dealing with not playing gigs right now, channeling my creative energy in this way. So, yeah, I've spent a lot on spilt liquor. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've all, if you were a drinker, man, and look, our generation, I'm Gen X. Yeah. None of us stood a chance, Michael. Yeah. And you guys, didn't Johnny D work at Gil Turner's for a while? It's like putting the rooster in the hen house, right? It's just, it's not necessary anymore. Pubs have become an overpriced begging bowl for a few years here. I bet, Hermit, because it's probably really expensive. Wow, miserable. Very good. Walk-in cooler in the early afternoons. Yeah, man, pound one real quick and go back to work. Have you by any chance checked out the Orange County Choppers Club? I know it's near you down there. I have not, Shredding. I have not. I have not been to any bars or clubs. I don't have a reason. Yeah. Michael worked at Gil Turner's too. I don't have any reasons to go to bars now. If I'm not playing gigs, which I'm not, and I'm not seeking yet. I mean, I might change my mind. I might make a call or get a call and end up playing it. But even if I was playing them, I would just get in, play the gig, and come out. Maybe I'll just do a gig just for content for the channel. Maybe I'll do something like that. Coors Edge is excellent. Tastes like real Coors and is non-alcoholic. Try it. I love it. That's interesting. Miserable for me. I drink those sparkling waters and it gives me the same little bite and edge as drinking a beer. And dude, Dad, I'm glad you're not dead, Dad. Glad you are here. That sparkling water is my beer. That's what I drink if I'm just trying to, have something with a little bite. I was going to ask if you're going to play again. Yeah, Big P, I don't know, man. I've got to reach out to some people and maybe do it, but I'm trying to put all of my energy into this YouTube, and that's why everybody that chips in, all the super thanks and super chats and people that have, bought me coffee, there's a link on most of my videos where you can, purchase your Amazon stuff or you can buy me a coffee. And, those people contributing to this channel, it helps keep it going. And let's see what Diamond Field. Brad, great channel, man. Eating my lunch, watching this before I get my shiz together for a show tonight. Awesome. Love the stories. Represent 99 who all had amazing experiences. Man, I'm so thankful. Live playing with amazing players who may never be known outside their local scenes, but are legendary to us. Your stories are 100% relatable. Thank you so much. Man, that's what keeps me going on this channel is you guys, man. We're it's like I told X5 podcast. I said, everybody wants to hear the rock stars and the interviews with rock stars, but there's way more of us. There's way more of us, day in and day out, weekend warriors than all the rock stars put together. And man, we've all got a story to share and a lot of wisdom. Yeah, I got to do a few things, but most of the time, man, I was just a weekend warrior in Nashville, playing bars, playing clubs, playing whatever, any kind of gig I could get, man. So, man, I'm just thankful to have this killer group of people in here. Thank you. You can't afford to pay attention, but you love this channel, Dad. That's what it's all about, man. Because let me tell you something. Every time, if you watch my channel, if you watch my videos, always hit the like button and always leave a comment. Those two things will help the algorithm give this channel a boost. So if you can't afford to, to buy me a coffee or super chat or anything like that, just do me the solid of watching, hitting like, and leaving a comment. And that helps so much. The strip is a story and scene too outrageous to keep secret. Yes, yes. Hermit, we're just trying to tell that story. Why does the producer bring in other guitarists in the studio to do a certain lead guitar part in the studio? Can't the band get it done? Robert, that is a great question. And look, let me ask you this question. Is every guitar player as good as Eddie Van Halen and George Lynch? So I'll use the example of the band Warrant. And they were guys that I knew back in the day. And I was bummed when I heard that they brought in another guitar player. And everybody thought, oh man, they must not be any good. They brought in another guitar player. But the producer decided that they were competing with Van Halen and George Lynch and all of these other, famous people. And, they weren't quite up to that level. But they're recording the album. And they're not going to put out an album if they can't get the right solos. The solos were a huge part of that rock. So what do? Do you wait until they figure it out and get better? Or do you make and waste years? Or do you call a guy to come in, knock it out, and finish the album and let them go on to succeed? And hopefully they grow and get better as time goes on. That is why a producer does that. And look, there's been parts that I've played on records and I thought they were killer parts. And I thought this is going to be great. And then it comes out and he didn't even use it. And it's just like it's what the producer, wants. They might not have the same vision as you. And, that's reality. You can't take offense to it, but you obviously, if it's your band and your songs, you want to be the guy playing the part. So that's why in pre-production, you would get together with the producer, and if there's issues with the solos or you're not playing it well or whatever, you can get with them and say, hey, let me work on these solos. Let me work with somebody. Maybe have somebody write the solos and you still play them. You've been replaced. Diamond says, you haven't lived rock and roll until you've been replaced. I think even the greatest players in the world have been replaced. Look at Steely Dan, the Peg guitar solo. They had like dozens of guys come in and play solos, and they didn't get the right solo until Jay Graydon came in and played that incredible 2-string bend solo. And he didn't even know whether they were going to use his guitar part until he heard it on the radio. And then he goes, up, ding, I made the album. So that's how it is, man. That's how it is. The producer, the artist is looking for something. And, and sometimes it's not what you put out. And so they're going to bring somebody else in and try to get it done as quickly as possible. Right on, Mike. And Mike, thank you for popping in. We got Mike on the wrench today. He's got we don't have to do a whole lot of moderating on this channel. The only person who's ever been kicked out of this channel was the guy who asked, is that Neil Young? And then when I said, no, it's Eddie Van Halen, and he goes, who's that? I immediately hit remove from channel. That's the only guy that's ever been kicked from this. So do they cut your pay, Kiri asks. No, look, if you're hired to play on a session and you're told it's union or it's this or we're going to pay you a flat rate or whatever it is, they're paying you for your time. And if the producer chooses to not use what you put down, you're still getting paid. You're still getting paid, you know? So in some ways, that's another reason why you might get replaced, because they don't want to waste time and pay somebody. And the best way to do it, let's say you're a producer and you bring in a guy to play a part. You say, who do you think could play this solo? Or who do you think could play this part? And you bring in a guy. This is how you handle it. If the guy comes in and what he's playing, you just know, like pretty quickly, man, this is not going to work. Now, he is not even, I'm imagining in my head what I want it to sound like. And this ain't it. So instead of running the guy through the ringer and trying to over-direct him and wasting time and watching that tick, tick, tick of the clock and the bill getting higher because more time is getting wasted. If you know this guy's not going to be able to pull it off, you just let him take one pass, go, man, that's great. Thank you so much. And you get him out the door and you get on the horn and you get somebody else. That's how you handle somebody who's not cutting the mustard in the studio and you know you got to get somebody else. That's how you do it painlessly. You thank him. You say, hey, man, great job. We love it. Thank you. And you get him out the door. You don't argue. You don't, so that's it. I live right about 4 miles across the holler from Joe Osborne. Saw him and talked to him in the corner store about 2 months before he passed. Oh, man. That is a valuable lesson. I've hired guys on sessions. I've done some production work, producing records. And, we hired one time a legendary player to come in and play a solo. And he came in and played, and it just wasn't happening. It wasn't what I heard in my head. And we ended up just saying, hey, man, thanks, sounds great, and sending him on his way, rather than sit and argue and try to teach him what you want and do all that. Now, if you think he's close, if you think what the guy's playing is close, then you can say, hey, man, I really like the first half. Let's work on that middle, and I like the last lick that you played. Then you've got, hey, he's close. Because sometimes you can, a lot of times solos, the early Van Halen solos, it's one take. It's Eddie Van Halen just ripping. But as they got later in their career, it was take one, take two, take three on the faders, and they go slide up for the first part of the solo, down, raise this one up for the middle part of the solo, and then pull the third fader up for the outro. A lot of it is done like that. It's pieced together solos. And that's another way that you can do solos. Like a guy like George Lynch, from what I understand, a lot of his solos are like that. On those Dockenready, he played, because he's an improviser. So George Lynch would come in and just start ripping stuff, and the producer would go, that's a really cool intro. I got a really cool intro to the solo right here. This middle section is really cool in this part. And then this outro, and maybe we'll punch the last note, or we'll punch, something on the back half. And his solos kind of flow like that. Exactly. So even though where on your list of guitar heroes would you put Neil Young in your opinion? William Firstend. As far as pure guitar playing, I don't, rank him high. I rank him as a songwriter. And as far as songwriting and coming up with cool songs, he's great. He's great. But as far as pure guitar playing, he plays what works in his music. But it probably wouldn't get called as much to play in other people's stuff. That's kind of where I think he plays the perfect stuff for his songs. But is he technically a great player? No. But would technically great guitar playing sound good on a Neil Young song? No. So for what he does, he is the perfect guitar player. I think that makes sense. He does, miserable. Christian, I hear you. I had to recharge there. So let's get the thumbs up. We got 67 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Miserable. I agree with you. EVH was the Jimi Hendrix of our time, and he was the next guy. When I bought the Hendrix records and got into Hendrix, and then kind of figured out what he was doing and kind of had a grasp of that, I was waiting for the next guy. I was like, who is the next guy that I'm going to follow? I was always, as a guitarist, trying to find who the next guy is. And Van Halen was the next guy. He was the next guy that was carrying that flaming torch of awesome guitarness across the the finish line. So he was that guy. Let's see. Somebody asked something here. Do you dislike country music? William asks, is speed of shredding, is that the measure of technical ability? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Technical ability, playing with good technique, doesn't have to be fast. Look at Larry Carlton. He had a career as a tasty guy with great mind of knowing what notes to play over complex things, and that's technical ability as well. So look, Neil Young doesn't have to go. He doesn't have to do that to be an incredibly tasty guitar player. But Neil Young goes for that gritty, earthy, like someone said earlier, 5E3 deluxe tone, that tweed Fender, sound like it's about to blow up kind of guitar tone. And that's a whole other thing. So man, it's hard to keep up with the chat. Mike Holmes, Elliot Easton is an incredible player, and everybody go check out Mike's channel as well. Someone has said, shred is like eating food too fast. There is no chewing. Yeah, it's not as chewy, is it? I do like to hear the chewiness of the playing, hearing the pick, rather than just hear this constant, What do you think of Albert Lee guitar playing chicken picking? It's amazing. It's amazing, Douglas. Larry Coryell was living here in Westport while I was growing up, and his son is a friend of mine, still playing the White Boy Blues. He is? That's cool, man. Larry Coryell was one of the all-time greats, especially back in the day. Great jazz guitar player. So that's good to hear. Somebody said Neil Sean chews too much on his solos. I don't know. I think Neil Sean does good for what he does. Yeah, they do shredding. They do tend to sound like, they do tend to sound like too much technical. Now, Leslie earlier asked, who is the next guy? I don't know. And thank you for posting that, Leslie. I did see it. I'm trying to keep up with the chat as best I can. I don't know who the next guy is. I don't know that there has been a guy. I like a lot of different types of playing, not just the hot rodded rock style of playing. I loved a guy named Drew Zing who was playing with Steely Dan for a while. That guy was incredible on that Steely Dan tour. He made it one tour, and then they got rid of him. And I'm sure there was a reason for it, but in my opinion, he was probably playing too good. He was getting too much attention. His playing is just sublime and incredible, and not a lot of speed, but very technical playing because he played the right note at the right time. Partial to Marty Friedman's Megadeth. A lot of people do prefer that incarnation of that band. Did you ever see a picture of Neil Sean in the 70s? Oh yeah, he had the giant fro, bro. Was that real, you think? Do you think that was real? I don't know. SRV playing with Buddy Guy. Yeah, that would be a great blues clip indeed. Neil Sean had the fro, bro. The fro, bro. The new album from Neil Sean, Fro Bro, coming soon. Let's get those thumbs up, man. Y'all are lagging on the thumbs up today. There are tons of people who can play covers perfectly, but not a lot who can write originals and play at a really high level. Well, it is a whole nother skill um, to write your own material. And that is something I've talked about in some of my videos. In fact, I'm going to put out a video this afternoon. I want everybody to watch. And it asks the question, who is the GOAT? And it stems from who is the GOAT of drummers? Who is the GOAT of guitar players? And I want everybody that tunes into this channel to watch this video today. It's so important when you guys watch these videos and hit the like and leave a comment. Man, that is what keeps this channel going. And, that is important. Diamond Field, I'd love to know if you dig Dan Huff and Michael Landau, Carlos Rios, and all those great session cats. If I had to pick out of that group that you just named, I love Michael Landau. I saw Michael Landau play in a small club in Nashville before I left town. A place called the Underdog, I believe it's called. That's where Guthrie Trapp plays a lot. Leslie, you know of that. Michael Landau, and I couldn't even see him while he was playing because it was like the crowd was so dense and I was kind of in the back and I could, every now and then I get a glimpse of his face. And, he's an older guy now, but man, Michael Landau just sounded incredible, dude. It was like something from another planet. And he was getting sounds out of his instrument. He's definitely some of that sort of, LA, rock thing kind of mixed in with this Hendrix thing and this incredible thing. Eric Blue is in the house. What's happening, brother? How you doing, man? It is, let's see, it's Thursday, so no Rudy's Jazz Room today for you. Somebody just asked if I'm ever going to interview Victor Wooten. Maybe one day, maybe one day. Have you ever seen Steve Morse? I have not seen him live. I have not. But he's incredible. And I used to buy Dixie Dregs albums when I was a kid. Might be a little Asian kid plays like BB or the little indie guy. Might be the next girl. Look at these little kids. There's so many great players, and that's why when I put this video out, and I think I'm going to put it out at like 4 o'clock today or 3 o'clock today. That's on YouTube. That tells me a lot of my viewers are on at that time. And that's why I'm going to put that video out later today. I need the views badly to keep this channel going. And so I talk about all these kids doing all this incredible stuff, but has one of them written an incredible song? You need the great song, the great vehicle to launch yourself into stardom, to get played in somebody's truck as they're driving their prom date to prom. That's how you get in the hearts and minds of people. And I don't know that, the kids are phenomenal. But, it's like, wow, I forget it as soon as after I've heard it. I watch it and go, that's amazing. And then I just forget it. It goes in one ear and out to the next until I hear a great song with great lyrics and emotional content, and then the perfect solo in the song, and then being a larger than life image, like a Prince or a Jimi Hendrix or a Van Halen or any of those things. It's just forgettable to me, and with today's trickery and stuff, you don't know how many these guys are practicing these. They learn the one little 30-second clip and they practice it over and over again until they get the perfect take, and then they hit boop, and then they connect the music to it, and boop, they send it out. They edit it and make it look all cool and trick with camera angles and all that. And in some cases, there are quite a few guys that are speeding up. They're speeding up their things and then miming it. And and they speed it up, Kiri. That's absolutely right. So some of this stuff, man, you can tell, look, they can make it play a normal pitch but play it at the speed, but you can still hear that there's a timbre in the instrument that still sounds sped up. I hear it. And people are thumbing up, oh, fire and all this kind of stuff. Well, here's the thing. Kids are going to grow up seeing that, and they're going to figure out how to do it for real. So these guys are doing trickery, but if they ever have to go play live and do this, they're not going to be able to do it. But these kids that are growing up watching this stuff, they're going to figure out how to play it for real. Just like there's singers now, young singers that sound like they're auto-tuned just because their pitch is so good from listening to auto-tune all the time. So it's a strange and brave new world that we are in. It is definitely that. Let's get the thumbs up. And, yes, trickery in a DAW would shock most people. I avoid it. Yeah, I treat my DAW like a tape deck. And the only thing I'll do is old school, do a punch. If I hit a bum note, I'll do a punch. But when I'm doing these videos, like where I demo gear and stuff like that on my channel, man, those are usually the first or second take. And I'll know that I could do better. But I'm keeping it real by just putting that out there, So I just we got to roll the bone. Yeah, you got to roll the bones, bro. You got to just keep it real. There's too much shenanigans and trickery in the world, and we just don't need all that nonsense and tomfoolery. You know what I'm saying? I don't fool with it. Back in the day, I used to say, someone would say, hey, you want another beer? I said, I don't fool with it. What was the best concert you've ever seen? Man, I would have to say the Steely Dan with Drew Zing. That was just incredible. Hearing those songs, which at the time I hadn't played any of that material, I hadn't tried to learn it, and it just seemed so advanced to what I was doing. And even though I had played some jazz stuff, it's like they've got some interesting chord changes. And seeing Drew Zing just sound just incredible. He had a dumble tone, and he was playing a matchless, but his phrasing and everything, he was putting on a clinic of taste and restraint. So so that would be my personal favorite, but I realized that's, it's just one of a lot of great concerts that I saw. So, everybody's got a different. I saw Eddie Van Halen on the 5150 tour. That was great as well. Totally different thing, though. Totally different style of playing, totally different vibe. All right, so let's get those thumbs up. I don't know how much longer I've got till the wife gets home and I'm back on the clock. But as everybody checked out, anybody got Tonex out there? Tonex now has, their software for their Tonex stuff. Now they're giving you delays and modulation and some more reverbs. So now Tonex is almost a complete solution as far as a capture device with effects and all that. It's almost like now you could just show up with a Tonex, and even the little pedal. You can do all this, put all these things on there, and then drag it onto the pedal and just have this glorious guitar sound right out of the gate. And it's pretty cool. I don't think it's, for me, it's missing some effects. It's got some cool stuff, but they're only giving you a little taste. It's not like, Helix, where you've got all these different reverbs and all these different delays and stuff like that. So that's an interesting development in playing. So anybody have any other questions while I'm sitting here and Tonex One shredding? Yeah. Tonex One is cool, man. Now with this, you figure, dude, it's, well, I don't know, what is it, $119? Oh, hey, Center Hill Cards, great to have you here. Just outside of Nashville. Dire Straits, I imagine in '85, that would be an incredible show. I love Mark Knopfler. Yeah, and I think Tonex One is like $119. It's a small pedal. I think if you get the right cord out, tip ring sleeve, it'll run stereo out, And then you get the software so you can put the delays, you can program your whole sound and have it on. Let's see, do I got my Tone X1 here? Yeah, I got my Tone X1. So okay, lost audio. Okay. Come on back. Come on back. Hello? Is anybody there? Can you hear me? Audio, no video. Let's see if we can get it to come back. All right, come on back. Come on back here. Come on back. All right, we're trying. We're trying. The problem is somebody tried to call me, and that is not good. Audio, no video. Okay, well, I guess that's going to end our time for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to head out. Thank you very much for being here today, and I'll see you a little later today for the new video. Thanks, guys. See ya.